MWT Lab Week 3 Develop an Enterprise Java Bean for Student Information System. So before this experiment, just we need to know what is Enterprise Java Bean, how it works. So EJP, so acronym is Enterprise Java Bean. It is a specification provided by Sun Microsystems to develop secure, robust, and scalable distributed applications. To run EJP application, you need an application server that is called Ejb container, and such as JBus, Glassfish, WebLogic, WebSpace, etc. There are three types of enterprise Java bean. One is session bean. Session bean contains business logic that can be invoked by local, remote, or web service client. Message driven bean. Like session bean, it contains the business logic, but it invokes by passing message. Entity bean, it encapsulates the state that can be persist in the database. It is deprecated. Now it is replaced with JPA, Java Persistent API. So in previous session, we learned about how RMI can work. And here RMI, Remote Method Invocation, and Enterprise Java Beans both are using for the same purpose, but there are slight different. You see what are the differences. So both RMI EJP provide the services to access an object running in another JVM. Means it is working for remote access from another JVM. The difference between RMI and EJP are given below. See RMI. In RMI, middleware services such as security, transaction management, object pooling, etc. need to be done by the Java programmer. But in EJP, middleware services are provided by EJP container automatically. It is a default application. And coming to RMI, RMI is not a server-side component. It is not required to deploy it on the server. But EJP is a server-side component. It is required to deploy it on the server. RMI built on the top of socket programming. EJP technology is built on the top of RMI. And even to overcome the issues, whatever issues we get in RMI, like delay of service, issues in data transactions, those can be maximum avoided by EJP. And it is compared to RMI, it is a faster and portable. And see, so prerequisites, how before going to work, we need to know how Java Beans works. So we need NetBeans ID, Glassfish server. Generally, NetBeans comes along with Glassfish server. By default, it having. If it is not there, while downloading NetBeans, you can select the option so that NetBeans installer will download along with Glassfish server. Install the NetBeans with Glassfish server. Once it is done, we can ready to go. Now open the ID and as usual, now open the ID and file. We need to give name for the project. So for that, first step, go to file and select new project and select Java Enterprise Edition and select EJP module and click on next. You will get pop-up, select next. Give give some suitable name for the project. I'm giving like my app. Here I'm getting my app. So select next button, select server as Glassfish. And by default, the server is Glassfish. If it is not there, in the select options, we need to select Glassfish. I am selecting Glassfish server 3.12. Select J2EE version, whatever you have installed. Currently it is having J266. Select the button finish. Step 2, after creating the package, means I'm giving the source package. So we need to create interface. So in this package, I created interface by giving name as home. So anyhow, creating interface is nothing but we need to define whatever the methods we are going to use. Here I am defining the method that is say hello. say hello method. So after creating the method, I need to implement this this interface. Whatever the methods I need to implement in another class. For that class, I will use either Java class, or we can use a session bin class also. So we having the option like how to go. Just simply go to test and create new package, and provide class name as home implementation. That can implements the home. It is the home class, I mean interface class. So here I implemented this stay hello is an a method as welcome to Ejb. Next, after implementing the interface, next we need to create glassfish descriptor file. So because why we need to define this, because it is an Ejb is a server side program, and we need to deploy it. For that reason we are creating glassfish descriptor. So just go to project given my app and choose the glassfish descriptor. Go to glassfish and glassfish descriptor, then click on next, finish button. So the jar file is created by default. By this action, the glassfish Ejb jar file is created itself, and provides a Jandy name. So name for home implementation bean by editing the file or clicking on tab Ejb and giving Jandy name as ABC. We need to give in string. Next here, whatever the name we give in Jandy, we need to give here like ABC. The code is glassfish Ejb is generated by default. This is a jar file, I mean jar program. The code is generated by default. Just we need to give this Jandy name ABC. So save this file, XML file. There can be only one glass Ejb file per Ejb module. We can't. There is no reusability. The name uh, should be unique. Whatever you name save, that should be unique. We can't give the same name for multiple programs. And step 5, right click on the project name. Next, after this, right click on project name and select clean and build. After clean and build, again right click on the project node and select deploy. So when you deploy this program, for both these actions, build successfully. If there is no issues in server, so you will get built successfully. If you having any issues in this programming, in like any errors in implementation or in interface definition, you here we can't get built successfully. So if we get built successfully, then everything is fine, and our Ejb session bin home implementation with the Jandy name ABC successfully deployed. Once it is deployed, so here we did implementation. So right click on project node, create new class name, and after implementation we need to call those methods. To now we need to create the objects. Here in the main class, I'm going to create the I mean objects like context t new initial context. So lookup, even I create object for lookup also. Lookup will combine the objects. It is for binding purpose. So after this, after creating and calling the method, just run this class to check our Ejb is deployed successfully. Thank you for watching.